All right, you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq. Welcome to my weekly review. Just wanted to point out a couple of things here with the Nasdaq. Obviously, it's been in a power trend, and we stepped on the gas here on May 10th. Doesn't look like much here on this day, but a little above volume from the prior day. About average daily volume is only up like uh, what was it up here on the 10th? Let's go to the 10th here. A little over 1%, but it made a high above this old high here. So an index making higher lows and higher highs. We got interested at that, we stepped on the gas at that point. We were in the yellow caution zone, and that we've been green ever since. And you can see that the latest pullback here, it pulled back to its 21 back in June, and the most recent one, it just pulled back to the 10. Everybody freaked out on Thursday because of the reversal, but I think it was just being cautious ahead of the inflation data. We did have a 2% move on July 20th to the downside, and the Nasdaq currently is 2.4% above the 21, so it could get there in a day. Just keep that in mind. Keep the moving averages in mind. If they pull back to the 21 or even the 50, it's doing nothing wrong. But I got to go to the weekly here because it is a weekly review. Okay, so let's go through the whole spiel here. A 37% peak to trough. It's a lot of pain there for the Nasdaq. Made a bottom, retested the bottom in October, and has basically been, straight up ever since. This is due, growth stocks are more sensitive to interest rates, so the Nasdaq was hit more than the Dow or the S&P. And now that the interest rate cycle is ending, hopefully, soon, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a macro guy. I just trade stocks, but the Nasdaq is responding positively. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, we trade stocks. I just want to point out, Apple reports this week. These big mega cap technology stocks have the funding and resources to win the artificial intelligence race, and they're going to squash the little guys and spend as much money as they have to win that war. And you can see Apple, they report earnings this week. Microsoft, we got through Microsoft and Google and Meta last week, and we got the Fed behind us. So, we should be, not all systems go, but we should be, in the clear here for a few weeks. And just, responding to earnings from these large mega cap tech stocks. And there's Amazon, another one with a big war chest to squash the little guys. This one pulled back to the 50 recently. They report earnings on the 3rd, which is Thursday. I did mention Microsoft, little negative response to their earnings. It pulled back to the 50. I think it's going to be fine. Google, there's another one that reported nice, strong move here, a breakout from this, I don't want to use the term, but it's just an abbreviated cup with handle pattern and moving higher. So Google looks good. Google, obviously, a powerhouse stock, a lot of money to win the AI wars. Can't say it enough. There's Meta, nice response to earnings and a follow-up on Friday. Meta, was hated on the way down and loved on the way up, and that's just the psychology of the market. And maybe it'll make new highs. Anyway, another artificial intelligence stock. I'm going to go through a few more here. NVDA, this is probably the hub of AI, and this is forming an ascending base pattern here, higher highs, higher lows, a series of 3 of them. It doesn't have the 10% pullback that, ideally you would like, but, it's in spirit. This is, what I would consider an ascending base pattern. So the buy point would be 480.88. I'm not telling you to buy. In fact, I would buy it before. I did buy it before, so you can do whatever you want. That's what I'm doing. Haven't done much trading at all recently. Just sold a little Tesla before earnings. And, just kind of holding stuff. Anyway, I'm going to do the semiconductors in a minute, but I have to throw in Supermicro because this one is just, I got to go to the weekly. High tide flag pattern. I do this every day. You guys are probably sick of it by now. But anyway, there's your pole, there's your flag, and higher up to the races. If we go to the daily chart, you can see that 270 there was the buy. I thought it would have trouble with 300, and it still might. They have earnings on August 8th. But, you know, at 334, it's, you know, it's just pull back to the 21 and it'd be below 300. But this thing looks like higher prices to me, but that's just me. IONQ is another one in that group, the computer hardware, the strongest group, best performing group, I should say, in 2023. I mean, the group is up, you know, 138% or something, and these two are responsible for it, mostly SMCI and IONQ. You can see this is, you know, huge sell-off, consolidation all through here, breakout from stage one. And now it's in stage two, the ascending phase. So I like that one as well. Anyway, I'm going to get to the semiconductor group and just talk about some of the stocks that I like here and some of them that are doing well. I'm just going to mix all of them together: the equipment, the manufacturing, the fabless. This is Applied Materials. They have earnings coming up August 17th. This is responding well. I believe the Lam Research earnings report. Applied Material has, you know, gone sideways here for a long time, formed these consolidation patterns, and now has kind of broken out from that. So it's kind of a change of character. LSCC is another one that looks pretty good. They have earnings 31st. What is that, Monday? Yeah, Monday. Okay, so beware. You have to know when the earnings reports are. There's Allegro. This one has earnings on Tuesday, the 1st. So we're going to hear from these semiconductors. You can see this nice sell-off here, the breakout, and then the pullback. Let's look at it on the daily. There it is, the breakout, the pullback. So we'll see what they say on Tuesday. Lam Research, mentioned that one. Nice breakout with volume here, you know, like that above 644. And, definitely a nice response to their earnings report. There's just a lot of them, and I'm not going to get to all of them. One that I did have on my watch list that is kind of getting away from us: microchip. There's super micro, advanced micro, micro strategy, microchip. The micros are doing well. You can see this one had a long, this is what I liked about it, this big base, this pullback, and now it's kind of, you know, trading higher. It's pushing away from the base slowly. Not a real explosive move, but it's doing well. And the last one I want to show you in this group, this is a manufacturing stock, STM, and this cup with handle is actually just a handle if you look at the weekly. Big consolidation, you know, since December of 21. So, you know, like 19 months of just basing, and big base. And then this handle is really this handle on the weekly is really a cup with handle pattern, and it's starting to push away from its base. Finally, a little slower mover. And this is a response to the Lam Research earnings. Anyway, I'm gonna switch up here and go to there's just a lot of groups that are working well. I can't get to all of them. I am going to look at some of the minings, you know, the home builders, the airlines, the travel booking, steel. There's a lot of them responding well right now. And like I said, I'm not going to get to all of them. Software, but SCCO, Southern Copper, nice little base here, and a nice move last week here. It had some real strong move earlier in the week, I believe about 5 or 6% move here, which definitely attracted my attention. That was on Monday, yeah, and had a good week. So let's look at the weekly chart here. Should show a nice little breakout, yeah, out of that pattern with some decent volume. I mean, if you're into volume, I'm not really, you know, I'm that much of a stickler for volume anymore, but that's just me. This is Freeport McMoRan, and you can see this consolidation pattern. Let's go to the daily. The earnings are behind it, so you don't have to worry about that. Had a nice response. Pull back here to the moving averages, found support in last week. Kind of going sideways there, maybe forming a shelf here for a couple of weeks. I'm going to keep my eye on Freeport McMoRan, a stock that I definitely like. And then a new issue, this one was on our IPO list last year, and kind of forgot about it, but this one, it looks good. I got to go to the weekly chart here, and you can see it's making this consolidation pattern here. Cup with handle, it's got the buy point there at 15.24. You can do what you want, but I'm just watching this one, no position there. Let me take a look at some of the other stocks. The heating and air conditioning stocks are doing really well. This is Carrier. It was a spinoff there. And you could see this broke out recently. Is just showing power as it after the breakout. This is a Fix Control Systems, another one. Comfort Systems consolidation breakout. This one's just surfing its moving averages higher. Pull back. Somebody was freaking out there on Thursday when the big move happened, but it just came back to its 50 and resumed its uptrend, 5% on Friday. So sometimes you watch them too close. You know, you sit there and watching your stock and it makes a big move. It's kind of better to go out and fish, golf, hunt, hike, whatever you do, surf. And this is AAON. This is on our watch list at mcstockcharts.com. And this one pulled back to its 21 on that big, reversal on Thursday, and then resumed, on Friday, 3%. But I like this one. They have earnings coming up on Thursday. You really have to be aware of the earnings dates. Okay, I'm going to go to the oil and gas patch, the oil pits, and this is Tidewater. Had this consolidation, had a chance, and now it's pulling away. On the daily, I wouldn't touch that, but it's definitely getting supported by the 10. So it's going to be surfing like Kelly Slater. It looks like NOG is one that I'm interested in here. If I want to own something in the oil and gas space, they have earnings on the second is Wednesday, but it's nice consolidation here. And that's what I like. Trading kind of tight here on the weekly. There's 3 weeks tight and moving up ahead of earnings. So we'll see what they have to say. Next week, that is exploration stock, and then Weatherford is an equipment stock, and this one's broken out from its consolidation, moving higher. Now it's surfing its moving averages. Okay, I got to get to I mentioned travel, ABNB. This was on our watch list a couple times, broken out now, and to me, I wouldn't touch it. Just hold it if you own it, but not doing anything wrong. Looks real good. Booking is another one. I wish they would split 3,000. The only way to play that for me would be an options play, but definitely a breakout, moving higher. There's just a lot of stocks. Like I said, I can't get to them all, but the travel stocks are doing well. Royal Caribbean is another one. I mean, just look at these charts. They're just, just moving higher, and it's good. People are feeling good about getting out and traveling, and it's great. Restaurants too. I'm not going to get to the restaurant stocks though, but there are a few that I like. And this is Norwegian Cruise Lines. Once again, the breakout, just trading higher. I mean, like I say, if you own these, there's nothing to do. I mean, just kind of manage them, maybe add or trim, whatever you want to tinker. But geez, there's really nothing to do for me. Okay, I mentioned the home stock, so let's go to Builder. This is one that I do own, I do like, and I got in at lower prices here. This ascending base pattern. And now it's just surfing its moving averages. Another Kelly Slater stock there, or Garrett McNamara. He's the big wave surfer. And, it hasn't based in a long time. So I'm just kind of monitoring that. Pulte Homes did have a nice earnings report and breakout higher. That looks real good. Just a pullback to the 21. Another home builder stock. DR Horton, I like this one because it's the larger one, 43 billion market cap, and it's just grinding higher. Pulled back to its 50. Just nothing to do there. It looks real good. Okay, I'm going to get to some stocks that you might be a little more interested in. The software names, MDB, MongoDB. Nice breakout, and now it's just forming a shelf, but really supported at its moving averages. That one looks good. MicroStrategy. I mentioned the micro stocks, big breakout, pull back to the 10, just a really strong stock. Another one that I'm interested in, and will be on our watch list this week. And this is Confluent. I got to be honest, I don't know what a lot of these software names do, but this one obviously broke out of a base, and now it's pulled back to the 50 for the first time since breaking out of the base. And if you've been with me for any time at all, you know that I think that that's a good probability of a bounce there. So anyway, speaking of which, I'm going to go to the retail stocks. Celsius, this was another one that broke out of a base and now is pulled back to its 50. They have earnings coming up though, so it's just kind of trading sideways. So it's being supported by the 50. I would really like to see a bounce there, but it's gonna do what it wants. It doesn't care what I want or my opinion or anything like that. So like Mick Jagger saying, you can't always get what you want. This is Elf Beauty, pulled back with the Oddity IPO, siphoned some money out of this stock, I guess. Or there was just some sellers, and they have earnings coming up, on Tuesday. This thing has a tendency, if I go to the weekly, to just gap up on earnings. And you could see the last base here was last summer. It's been a year, just, a stair stepper, then goes sideways, takes this stairs up, sideways, stairs up, sideways. And last time, stairs up and sideways. I thought I was going to have trouble with the 100 level, but it just kind of blew right through it. And we'll see what they have to say on Tuesday. I think they're taking market share and everything's going to be fine there. I was going to do Crocs, but I'm not. Crocs is having some issues with Hey Dudes. This is Skechers. Nice response Friday. I mean, they had their earnings report, pulled back to the 50, and now kind of trying to break out here. So that would be something that I'd be interested in as well. A lot of power on that move on Friday. So Skechers is doing well. I think Deckers and their Hoka brand's doing well. Crocs brand is doing well. They're having trouble with their Hey Dudes. On Holdings, I believe that one is selling pretty well. There's 7 billion people in the world, and we need shoes on our feet. So they look good. All right, a couple gappers that I need to pay attention to. Roku gapped on Friday. This is not going to be ignored, Dan. I'm just going to go quickly through these gaps higher, write these down, monitor them. This is not out of a base. I like gaps out of a base, but still, this is not to be ignored. 27% move on more than 500% above average daily volume. That's Beazer Homes. One that I really do like out of a base is COUR. You can see it sold off. I also like the group. Software media, one of the stronger groups with Duolingo and Spotify. And this one gapped higher after earnings, 17% with nearly 300% above average daily volume. So I like that move as well. Align, this is the one with the, the teeth or whatever for the misalignment of teeth. That's why it's aligned. So you don't need braces. So it's a real good look there. But there's a breakout from a base on Thursday, and that move, was significant. Yeah, pulled back Friday when the market was ripping, but still keep your eye on this one. Nice 13% move, right? And the 341% above average daily volume. So that's why I wrote it down. The last one I'm going to look at is VICR. To the VICR go the spoils. Big breakout last week. I believe that was Wednesday. Yeah, 57% move on nearly, 900% above average daily volume. Followed up the next 2 days, with decent moves here, 1.5%. So VICR looks good. And anyway, that's my weekly review. Thank you for watching. And I lied because in honor of the great Steve Jobs, one more thing. Madison Square Garden, can you believe it? Breaking out of a base here with volume. It's thinly traded. Just got to point this out, though. Madison Square Garden up nearly 12% and over 800% above average daily volume. Something to watch. Okay. They call Madison Square Garden the Mecca, and I don't really know why, but people from New York could probably tell me. But the weekly chart looks good, so I'm watching that one. Anyway, that's my weekly review. Thank you for watching. At MC Stock Charts, we never give up.